This is not a recession. There's an official narrative, and the official narrative is they said they've got to stop inflation. But in fact, let's look very simply at what happened. They voted on the going direct reset. Then they injected $5 trillion into the economy that went to the insiders. Then they used COVID to shut down the part of the economy run by the outsiders or owned by the outsiders. Now the insiders have a huge amount of cash. And now that the million small businesses put out of business, those owners are trying to get back on their feet and start a new business. They're going to radically raise the cost of capital to the outsiders. And what's going to happen? It's going to mean that $5 trillion can buy more assets cheaply. So to me, this is simply part of centralizing the control of the economy and using monetary and fiscal policy basically to assert, very significant central control. And, I said to you before, this is not a recession. When we did the going direct reset, we said this is not a turn down, this is a takedown. The central bankers, the G7 central bankers got in a room at Jackson Hole in August 2019 and voted to put 500 million people out of business along with, the healthcare crisis. And so, this is not a recession. This is a war. And, the Fed has now ended what's called the Fed put. When you inject $5 trillion into the economy and do it directly, not just on the reserve track, but directly, that was what was part of what was so unprecedented about the going direct reset. When you do that, everybody knew you were going to kick off tons of inflation. I remember one of the retired governors giving a great speech to the Swiss money managers right at the beginning of the going direct reset and saying, inflation's going to be with us and significant for decades. This is really going to put the squeeze on the middle class. So everyone knew exactly that this was going to happen. This was known. And the reality is, if you want to roll up central control, this is how you do it. You basically squeeze the middle class out of the existence. So this is war. In my experience, the American people are remarkably intelligent. We do a good job of playing stupid because we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to attract the invisible enemies. At the same time, I think people know that they've stolen a great deal of money, and now they're going to come to try and get their land, and they're going to try and get their kids. So when the World Economic Forum says it's 2030, you have no assets, they know they're coming to take away your assets. And the reason they haven't been able to do it, because remember, Biden's been after guns for a long time. They haven't been able to do it because America's too well armed. I mean, look at the January 6th domestic terrorist legislation. They try to get it through the House. It doesn't go through. Bam, they have a Buffalo shooting. Then they try and get it through the Senate. The Senate rejects it. Bam, they have the Texas shooting. They try again. It stalls, right? So we're talking about serious trench warfare, because if they need two things to sort of bust this up. One is they need to pull in the guns. The other is they need to tear up the Constitution. And that's why they're trying to get a con so that they can, they'll trick you into a con on all these different reasons why it would be good. And here's the thing. The reality is, if you're not willing to defend the Constitution now, because there's a lot of great rules in the Constitution, why do you think an amendment and new rules are going to be defended? You've got to defend what you've got. And if you're not willing to defend what you got, you're not willing to defend any new rule that gets added. So, but if you get a constitutional convention, then you can open it up and tear up the Constitution. The next thing you know, we'll have robot rights. Robots can be citizens. The next thing you know, you'll have animal rights. And people have to get thrown off their land to, save the species. Blah, 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 all those things. So here's the thing. You cannot let them take the guns. This
Wow.
is the line in the sand.